Saludos a todos. This is Senora Moy from Memorial High School. I hope the Ed puzzle you just did gave you an understanding of the conversation between Arturo and David. I want to walk you through some of the pieces since there's a lot here to unpack. With this topic, we're talking about the choices we make related to health, but a lot of these choices have changed in light of current events and the situation we are in. So that's kind of what David and Arturo are talking about. And that's what we're going to be focusing on in our class. Not necessarily the pandemic or quarantine itself, but how do we make choices that affect our physical and mental well-being now, okay? So that is the big guiding question for this topic. Once again, we're going to explore the problem, its causes and its effects, state some of the choices we make, either I or my family and I, and finally offer some possible solutions or things that can help. So let's get started going through this reading. You'll want to pause this video as we go along so you can follow along and mark your copy of the health discovery reading. Okay, so I'm going to work through this by following along the conversation and completing these tasks as I go. I want to underline new unit vocabulary. So these are going to be words from our health visual vocab, which you can have open in another tab, or if you have access to a printer, you can have a copy in front of you. We might find some words and terms in here to add to our personalized vocabulary sections that are on there. I want to highlight yellow, anything describing a problem, and highlight green, anything describing solutions. And lastly, I want to bold third-person structures, so anything that is an activity that they do or he, she, or it does. Arturo starts off the conversation saying, Hola David, ¿cómo te va en los Estados Unidos? He's just asking, how's it going in the United States? So no vocab or structures here. David replies, pues un problema grave en ahora es la cuarentena, causa la falta de salud. Now we have some new vocabulary and structures. I'm going to underline la cuarentena and la falta de salud. Because those are from our visual vocab. And I'm going to bold causa and highlight it yellow since it is both a third person structure and a sentence starter describing the problem. Arturo responds, qué lástima, ¿cómo causa la falta de salud? So he's asking, how does it cause a lack of health? You would think it would be the opposite, right? So David replies, pues muchas personas tienen la falta de movimiento, además no duermen suficiente, ven las noticias todo el día y sufren de insomnio. También sufren de la depresión y ansiedad. Okay, so we've got a lot to unpack here. First, I'm going to underline vocabulary terms. Tienen la falta de movimiento, duermen suficiente, ven las noticias, sufren de insomnio, depresión, and ansiedad. Next, I'm going to bold all of these third-person structures. Tienen, no duermen, ven, and sufren de. Last, I'm going to highlight some of these since they're describing the problem. So Arturo reacts saying, eso es muy grave, entonces afecta la salud mental también. Even though it's a question, I'm going to bold afecta, or it affects, since that's a third person structure. I'm also going to underline la salud mental. Since it means mental health. And I want to add that to my health visual vocab, because that can help me give specific examples later when I start using this vocabulary to describe the topic. David explains, sí, porque el distanciamiento social contribuye al aislamiento. Es muy difícil. There's some vocab here, so I underline el distanciamiento social and aislamiento. I also bold contribuye a, since that means it contributes to. And again, this is a problem phrase, so it gets highlighted yellow. Arturo responds, sí, es muy triste. Bueno, en España la pandemia tiene efectos negativos también. I'm going to underline la pandemia, which is a vocab word, and bold tiene, which means it has, making it a third person structure. David reacts saying, lo siento amigo, ¿cómo está tu familia? I'm sorry friend, how is your family? Arturo answers, pues mi familia y yo estamos bien, nos lavamos las manos y evitamos las multitudes. También pasamos mucho tiempo al aire libre y hacemos ejercicios y nos mantenemos en contacto con familia y amigos. We have lots to unpack again, and even though Arturo is using we structures or nosotros structures to say what he and his family are doing, I can still recognize some vocab here that I'm going to underline. We've got nos lavamos las manos, evitamos las multitudes, pasamos mucho tiempo al aire libre, hacemos ejercicios, and nos mantenemos en contacto con familia y amigos. Basically, everything he said is new vocab. All of this is part of the solution too, so you can highlight everything green as well, or just highlight the terms we've underlined and leave the extra stuff alone. David replies, qué bueno. Sí, es importante cuidar la salud física y respetar la cuarentena para reducir la enfermedad. I see some more vocab that I can underline and add to my visual vocab. Cuidar, to take care of. La salud física, physical health. Reducir, to reduce. And la enfermedad, which was on my visual vocab already. Es importante is a sentence starter. I can highlight green to start describing a solution. Arturo responds, claro que sí, pero durante la cuarentena todavía debemos cuidar la salud mental también. Which means, of course, but during the quarantine, we should still take care of our mental health too. So I want to highlight this, debemos, since he is proposing a solution here. Lastly, David closes off the conversation saying, sí, de acuerdo, which means yes, agreed. And that is the end of our discovery reading. Adios.